are going to be, okay. At
Can you try?
this time, we will be doing the family emotional check-in, which is going to be displayed on the screen via a QR code that you should scan on your devices. Media team. So at this time, if you have your devices, which I would believe that most of you do, could you scan the QR code on the screen? And it is going to take you to a Google form entitled Family Emotional Check-in. And we are going to take a few minutes to do our emotional check-in.
If anyone is having any issues scanning the QR code, please indicate and we will help you.
Logged in, um, just put your hand in the air, please. Okay, giving you 30 more seconds. Is everyone ready? Yes, no, maybe so. Okay, 30 more seconds because no one has indicated that they're ready.
Are we all there now? Do we?
Oh, we're supposed to do the form together.
Yeah, sorry about that.
Okay. So the family emotional check-in is a document or form that we are going to fill out together. So the first question says, today I feel blank. You're going to type in one word
Or a phrase.
or phrase and how you are feeling.
For example, are you hopeful, calm, peaceful, grateful, tired? Don't write tired, say happy. I'm just kidding. Whatever it is, please be honest.
And this information, it won't be going anywhere, so you don't have to worry about privacy, and we are keeping everything confidential as psychology professionals. The next question is, something I am carrying right now is. So whatever burden you are carrying personally, you can write it on the line.
Are you feeling stress from work or family life? Financial? Uncertainty about the future, maybe some of our young people. Maybe some of us are grieving like our father role player. Stress and overwhelm like the female in the family or the male in the family, the children.
Okay. Next question. Something I wish my family understood about me is. Maybe you want them to understand that you cannot do it all on your own, or that you need some help.
Or I need time for myself sometimes, right?
Right.
Or maybe a child might be saying, I'm not feeling heard, or I feel invisible.
Right. Something I appreciate about my family is, because in the midst of the hurt, there's always something good.
Something you can be grateful for.
Right.
So is it their love and support? Maybe that's something that you have. The way that you're able to be resilient and find humor in every situation or so. The way you're able to come together during difficult times. You know, that might be something that you're grateful for.
Right. One thing I can do to care for my emotional wellness is, you can go to the beach.
Self-care.
Right. Mm-hmm.
So that could be their support, their love, ability to come together in hard times.
And the last question, my prayer for myself and my family is.
And that one is personal.
So you know what your family desires, you know what you desire. So please write it on the line. And as the Bible verse, Psalms 34, verse 18 says, and I'll repeat, the Lord is nigh unto them that are of a broken heart. So I will reiterate that even though it was submitted, it will be kept confidential and private. This is between you, yourself, and God.
It's anonymous, so you didn't have to share any identifying information, so don't worry about any disclosure.
Right. And sometimes emotional wellness begins with simply being honest about what you are carrying. So as Ms. Sophia mentioned, please be honest.
And sometimes, maybe you didn't get to log on, maybe you didn't get to write your answers, but you thought about them, and you know, you have become aware now. You're more empowered to do something differently. And so just be aware of the different things that you were made aware of that came to your conscious mind, and just hold on to it. You'll learn how to use it.
At this time, before we continue, we're going to have a song by the Roach Sisters.
Clap them.
She's coming.
1, 2, 3, check.
But it already started over. I try to pray, but the words aren't coming out the way they used to. Did I lose my faith, or God, do I still trust you? I try to worship, but when I lift my hands, it all just feels so empty. Is it the heavy of the world, or is it just me? Though I sung 1,000 times, you're perfect and you'll never leave my side. Can I be honest? I just wanna know that you still got this. When all I'm holding on to is a promise. And God, you promise that you'll never leave me. When I'm scared of the dark, you're right there with me. Your kindness never fails, it's always reaching after me. But right now, God, all I need is to be honest.
Oh, I've heard stories of you showing up when it was least expected. Every time you prove your timing's always perfect, and the wait is worth it. And again and again and again, see your powers coming through. You bring life to what is dead.
But the words aren't coming out the way they used to. Did I lose my faith, or God, do I still trust you? I try to worship, but when I lift my hands, it all just feels so empty. Is it the heavy of the world, or is it just me? Though I've sung 1,000 times, you're perfect and you'll never leave my side. Can I be honest? I just wanna know that you still got this. When all I'm holding on to is a promise. And God, you promise that you never leave me. When I'm scared of the dark, you're right there with me. Your kindness never fails, it's always reaching after me. But right now, God, all I need is to be honest.
Oh, I've heard stories of you showing up when it was least expected. Every time you prove your timing's always perfect, and the wait is worth it. And again and again and again, see your powers coming through. You bring life to what is dead. No, there's nothing you can do. I believe you did it then, so won't you do it now?
Can I be honest? I just wanna know that you still got this. When all I'm holding on to is a promise. And God, you promise that you never leave me. When I'm scared of the dark, you're right here with me. Your kindness never failed, it's always reaching after me. But right now, God, all I clouds when I can see.
An anchor as the waves crash all around.
Is your heart when I can feel.
And show me something real.
Just one taste
Of
of
heaven
heaven
here and now. Can I be honest?
Oh,
Can I be honest? I just wanna know that you still got this. When all I'm holding on to is a promise. And God, you promise that you'll never leave me.
you never leave.
When I'm scared of the dark, you're right here with me. Your kindness never fails, it's always reaching after me. But right now, God, all I need
Is to be honest.
Amen. Amen. Thank you, Roach sisters. You gotta be honest. But how many of us can be honest with how we are really feeling? Can you be honest all the time with your feelings? When adults struggles emotionally, we sometimes recognize it, don't we? But when children and teenagers struggle, their emotions may look very different. Sometimes their hurt will look like anger. Sometimes anxiety will look like attitude. Sometimes fear will look like defiance. And sometimes silence is saying more than words can ever say. Our next scene challenges us as parents and family to look beyond the behavior, the defiant child and teenager.
Oh, boy, I don't feel like getting up this morning at all, at all. So much things to do. I don't even know where to start. Should I
Mommy?
make the breakfast? Should I clean?
Mommy, hello. Have you seen my uniform?
What?
My uniform for school?
You're a big girl. Why are you asking me about your uniform?
What's for breakfast?
Go look in the closet. What? What about you helping me? Everybody rushing
Yeah,
to...
but I gotta go to work.
Mommy,
Like,
did you
I
sign
have
my
to leave
form
now.
for school? I didn't
Oh,
know.
Are you hungry?
I forget about that
Yes.
field
Yeah.
trip.
Yeah.
Oh,
Mommy.
my gosh. Where's the
Yeah,
form?
so what's for
The
breakfast?
form I gave you last week, you don't
Mommy.
remember where you put it?
Choir practice,
Mommy,
it's
Mommy.
6:30. Hello?
You know what I want to do? Leave me alone. I'm one person. How much you expect me to do? Can't you all help? Listen, I don't want to hear anymore. I'm going right to my bed.
Okay, so what am I gonna eat?
Choir practice?
Go to your room.
Right, freeze. No, I'm going to ask you some questions. We're interacting with the audience, right? So, what did you notice? Was the shouting the problem, or it could be a symptom of something else? Anybody else? What signs of stressed or burnt out did you see?
The mother is overwhelmed.
Mother is overwhelmed. Anybody else? Poor time management.
Frustration from being a single parent.
Right? Perfect. I'm taking one more.
I was going to ask about food.
That's one version. That's okay. Maybe the father is not stepping up, so it
Not
looks like
getting
a
any
single
help from the
parent.
members of the family. Someone is on the floor, guys. Give a minute. Not getting help from no other member of the family.
1 second.
I've noticed that mommy did not want to get out of bed that morning. So even before the children came into play, she wasn't ready for the day.
Wasn't ready for the day. But Good thing. All right.
So nobody noticed that daddy's hungry?
Can we go back? Yes? Back. All right, so we're
Dr.
just going to
Lottie
go
saying
through a
something,
few.
you know.
Oh.
Yes, he was saying
poor allocation. Yeah, the family is not organized in terms of duties.
No, he's saying.
Okay, the family is not organized in terms of duties.
And I noticed that everyone came to mommy for everything, including daddy with his food.
Thank you for sharing, and these are good points, all right? So I'm just going to go through a few as it relates to signs of stress or burnt out. One of the big one is feeling overwhelmed, all right, which someone noticed. So a person may express feeling unable to manage their workload, responsibilities, or emotions, right? Not only did the mom has perhaps her to deal with, she's also have to take in consideration her kids and her husband. We also have the feeling of unable to cope, right? Sometimes we're going through a different situation. It might be at work, it might be even at school for a child. And being able to cope with these demands, again, can be very difficult. We have the loss of enjoyment, things that we basically enjoy doing, right? We no longer find interest in doing so. And sometimes when we're going through our stress or burnt out, it can impact our sleep, right? Changes in our sleep patterns. Sometimes some of us might be getting less sleep, and sometimes for some of us, we might be getting excessive amount of sleep, sleeping from 9 a.m. all the way back to 9 p.m. Difficulty concentrating, which is basically not being able to focus, right? Following instructions or maintaining attention during simple tasks. And sometimes this can even be when you're having conversation with your partner. Because we're dealing with or stressed or burnt out or things that are going on, just having those with the conversation, we might not be able to attend to what they're saying. Next slide, please. So we have on the screen depression and anxiety. Can anyone share with me what your thoughts are as it relates to depression or what your thoughts are as it relates to anxiety?
Well, I'm just reading the things on the board.
Okay. Good.
There are hidden sadness, and people may seem fine on the outside, and they might just feel out of sort. They can't cope.
Right.
And they don't know how to cope, actually. Or maybe they choose not to cope because of other reasons that we don't know.
One more point from this side. No one? All right, so a good way to sum up as it relates to depression is person doing less, right? So things that they might find that they enjoy, they are basically withdrawing from those little activities. So less social interaction, less engagement, less interest. Now, as it relates to anxiety, I'll look at it as doing more to feel safe. So you're engaging in those particular behavior, looking for reassurance, checking in, because you perceive something as threat. Next slide. Ready for the scene? Mom? Mom is busy with work. So we're going to replay that scene, applying some of the techniques such as notice, ask, listen, and support.
Listen, everybody just leave me alone. I'm tired of this. You can help out too? I give up. Leave me alone.
All right, so the first step is notice, right? So we watch for changes in mood or energy, look for signs of withdrawal from friends, basically see if they sleep or eat much less or more, notice loss of interest in fun tasks. And some things that we'll avoid saying will include, why are you always so sad? Just snap out of it. You have a great life. Why are you depressed?
So, in other words, the male parent in that situation could say something like, I notice you seem tired lately.
Perfect.
Yes. I have been.
I see that.
So now the second step is ask, right? Pick a calm time to talk, use a soft tone of voice, say something like, I notice you seem sad or tired lately, and ask, do you want to talk about it?
So if we're building on that, the male parent would say, I notice you seem tired lately. How are you doing? Like, how are you really doing? What's going on?
Do you really want to know?
Now, the third step is listen. Give your full focus. Do not interrupt their words. Avoid quick advice or simple fix. Validate their pain. For example, that sounds really hard.
So if we put this all together, that would look like, I notice you seem tired lately. How are you doing? You don't have to carry this alone. I'm here to listen to you. Is there any way that I can help?
Yes. You know, I'm really glad that you took the time to notice that I'm out of sorts. And I really appreciate the fact that you are asking me about it and listening. Yeah, I really feel validated. And if you have the time now, I would like to share some of the things I'm going through.
And then also, sometimes when we think about depression, we imagine someone who is visibly like crying or angry or sad. But let's talk to the men. Can we get a mic roving for the men? I think it's about 12 men here. What are some of the ways that we present when we're going through something that people don't often notice? And that might differ from a way that a woman might present when she's going through something. So what are some of the ways that you present when you personally are going through something difficult? What does it look like for you? Mark, you have any thoughts? How do we present differently as men when we're going through something?
I mean, we can answer to it.
Anyone?
That's one way. They don't talk.
Yeah,
They're
okay,
silent.
there's one, yes. Not talking. Right, being reserved sometimes.
Yeah, for men, sometimes we don't show emotions. In my culture, normally when you shed tears, it's a sign of weakness. So you just keep quiet and silent and pretend as if everything is fine.
Right, okay. So pretending, keeping it calm, keeping it kosher, like we have it all together. Another man, is there another way that you present when you're going through something sad where somebody can know that you're off? Like, how does that normally look?
I would say we tend to distract ourselves sometimes. We will focus either on work or a project, something else than what really is the issue. Okay.
So what I'm hearing is that one person is saying that we distract ourselves, we act differently, and another person is saying that we just cover it up altogether. Okay. And then now let's look at the women. Like, what do we notice when men are behaving off and they're not necessarily want to talk about? Like, how is their behavior like? What do you notice about a man when he seems to be off? What is his presentation like? What would you say?
Any ladies?
at the time I would come in and say, you're doing everything except me. He's not paying me attention, but he's busy around the place. And I'm just there trying to figure out what is happening to this man.
Okay, so it could be overworking, overcompensating, because you don't want to speak about the thing that's bothering you right now. Okay, anything else?
Sometimes they're just plain angry.
Angry,
And
okay.
you don't even know what's going on with them.
Gotcha. So what you're noticing about the man is that he's more angry than usual. Okay.
Someone is sharing that they feel extremely miserable.
Miserable.
During those times.
Irritable. Okay. Good. So that's anyone else?
I noticed that they sleep a little bit more.
Okay. So irregular behaviors and patterns. Okay. So sometimes what we see is irritability. Sometimes it might be withdrawal. Sometimes somebody, as you said, is constantly overworking or losing interest in things or simply just covering it up, saying I'm fine. And there might be a lot that's underneath that. Let's look at some of the reasons that could be happening, which include financial pressures. That's some of the reasons why you might see a man behaving differently. Losing a job, relationship problems, could be health issues, could be just dealing with aging, the pressure of feeling like you have to hold something all together, as the man of the house, that could cause you to be feeling and behaving differently. And so in what we're learning so far is that the central idea is the need to communicate. So communicate, one, from the man's perspective. If you're going through something, ensure that you're taking the opportunity to communicate with someone, with whether it's your partner or your family that you feel comfortable to. And then also on the other side, if you're noticing a man that's behaving in a different pattern, it's important to create an environment where that man feels safe to be able to communicate. So it's a partnership in that regard, where one person, the male, in this context, the male, it's important to take the opportunity to communicate, and the other party, is important that you create an environment where the man feels comfortable to be able to do so. So the theme in that is men struggle too, but men's distress doesn't always look like sadness. It doesn't always look like what you would think someone would look like when they're going through depression. It could present in all of the ways that we've discussed so far. All right.
And just to follow up, that one way that we can create a safe space for our partners to open up, male and female, is to use I statements. So notice in our interaction just now, I said to him, thank you for taking the time to notice that I'm not my usual self. And I felt validated by the fact that he was acknowledging my mood and the way I was behaving, my behavior. And he was also taking care to say that, hey, I want to come alongside you and give support. How can I help? So using I statement, it's less defensive, less threatening. The person doesn't feel threatened in any way. They don't feel the need to defend themselves. And so it opens up for safe conversation.
While the adults are discussing their problems, the child repeatedly tries to get their attention.
Mom, Dad, hello? Mom, Dad, Mom, Dad, Mommy.
What's wrong with you, child?
But we were talking to you, she was talking, and you weren't listening.
But you don't see that we're having a conversation?
But
You must
it's
have
important.
manners. What? They just walk off? I don't know what your thoughts are on that scene just now. Is it a typical scene where there's just this bad behavior, rudeness that comes out? And many times we just focus on the behavior. Anybody can identify? Yes. We're getting a mic. We're getting a mic. We really want to hear you. Others, think about it. Maybe you have seen it transpire between parents and their children.
I'm feeling a sense of not being trained properly as they just come and say, Mom, they don't even say, excuse me, Mom.
Put the mic a little closer.
No, I'm saying I'm feeling a sense of not being trained properly because they just come and say, Mom, they don't even say, Mom, excuse me, can I speak to you for a minute, please?
Okay. That could be a solution that they could ask to enter the conversation, yes?
I saw a bit of frustration from the children because if you go back to the first scene, they have been trying to get mom's attention even though it was not the right time for mom. And now they come back, but mom and daddy is all made up and talking about the issues, but they have still not been attended to, and they have come several times and just pushed back because their children go away. It's not your time. We will get to you. That's what I saw.
Any other thoughts quickly? Okay, so we are focusing on the behavior of the children. And it came across as being rude. You know, they just barged in, no excuse, demanded attention. When it wasn't met, then they walked off. And we judge that behavior. What is one word that you would use to describe that behavior? Out of order, rude. and we see that behavior as needing fixing. But what if I ask a different question? Yes, Dr. Lati? Oh, on Jamaican. Okay. You're coining a new word there, Sister Kerry. So I want to rephrase that and ask, what is the behavior communicating? Because behavior communicate. Frustration, what else?
Feelings of being unheard.
Unheard, invisible, unimportant, neglected. And so the children were actually communicating their annoyance, their frustration at not being heard or acknowledged. Sometimes behavior can communicate anxiety, unincluded, uninvolved. It can communicate insecurity or being overwhelmed or grief. So family structure needing support. I'm not
Responsibilities are not delegated correctly.
Okay. So again, we're seeing that the family needs support. It needs structure in terms of, and that's a very good point because we do want to share with you. So if you could go to the next slide. I want to go through quickly. I won't elaborate much. So this behavior can communicate frustration and so on that we have said before. It can also show that the child is having some depressive symptoms. It could be irritable. They could be crying. You could see regression in terms of bedwetting or childish behavior that they should have grown out of based on where they are developmentally. Sleep difficulties, physical complaints. Sometimes they have unexplained headaches or stomach aches, and you do several tests and you can't seem to figure out what is happening. We call that somatic complaints. School difficulties and anger or withdrawal. So, for example, when you see a child withdraw or shut down, that behavior is communicating some maybe sadness or grief, anxiety, rejection, or just emotional overwhelm. And we do that as adults as well. So we want to show how we can use the same 4-step supportive mental health communication strategy, notice, ask, listen, and support with our children. So we're going to ask our children to come forward. And our parent, Camelia. All right. If both, one can go on either side. Thank you. So, what we want to do is to first notice. And you're going to take, when you're dealing with your children, they can really frustrate you. They can get you very angry because the behavior is so rude and so, what's the word I'm looking for? Disrespectful, that's the word. And so you get really riled up. And sometimes to just regain control of yourself, you want your prefrontal cortex to come back online and shut down the amygdala, which is the emotional center of your brain. You're going to do some deep breathing. So let's do that right now. In. Hold it. Out. And stop. Pause. In again. Follow my hand. In. Hold it. Out. And pause. So we can do deep breathing to stay calm. If you're not calm, don't enter into a discussion or discipline. That's the first thing. You want to lower your body. So Miss Barif, just stand for me. You're going to address your daughter, but you're going to lower yourself to be at eye level with her. So if that means you're going to sit or kneel, and then you're going to approach the situation. What would you say to your daughter at this time?
I would say, I notice you have been getting upset.
I'm not hearing you. The mic. Switch.
Testing. Testing one. Okay. I would say something like this. I've noticed you have been getting upset more often. I want to understand what's happening.
So the next step is ask. And you have to follow along because I'm going to ask you what's the next step. So notice, second step, ask. Invite your child to share their experience using open-ended, non-threatening questions. So how would you ask? What you wouldn't say to them, why did you do that? How could you do such a thing? You say instead, because that's defensive, you say instead,
can you tell me what you're feeling?
So you're asking them to share, to open up, to become vulnerable. So the next thing you have to do if you're asking them to be vulnerable is to listen. Give your child your full, undivided attention. Do not interrupt. Do not lecture. Do not correct their grammar nor logic. Don't say that don't make any sense. You're not correcting the logic. You're just listening. And don't immediately try to solve the problem. So it would go something like.
So I hear you. I know you feel like no one's listening to you and like no one understands what you're going through and it's making you feel really upset. But I'm here if you need to talk, okay?
The fourth one, anybody remembers? Start with S. Support. Once your nervous system has calmed down, once you're calm, they're going to feed off your state. Okay? So if you're upset and angry and all your brain, your mind and thoughts are all over the place, they're going to mirror what you're doing. They're going to be frustrated, overwhelmed, just like you are. So you have to calm yourself first. And they're going to mirror your nervous system. So, once their nervous system is calm as well, then you're going to remind them about the boundaries, the expectations. And it doesn't mean that you're going to be a soft parent and don't give punishment if punishment is deserved. So this is how it would sound like.
So look, we all get angry, right? But it's not okay for you to throw a tantrum because you feel unheard. Would you like to take a 5-minute break to drink some water, or would you like to talk about it right now?
I would like to talk about it right now.
Not hearing you.
I would like to talk about it right now.
Okay. Go ahead. You will still.
And then also two techniques for supporting teams could look like acknowledging the gap. So in the scenario you saw, yes, you saw that mommy was overwhelmed, and earlier you saw that dad was in a remorseful state because he lost his mom. So it's important, as I said, to acknowledge the gap and proactively take accountability for past mistakes. So what that means is, yes, we are acknowledging that we weren't there for their children before. And so one thing that could be said is, I realize we haven't been listening to you in the past. As you can see, mom threw a fit this morning, and I wanted my breakfast and there was no breakfast. And I'm probably irritable because of the fact that my mom passed and I'm hungry and my wife is angry. So it's like all this pressure on me. So I know we haven't been listening to you, but the point is that we want to start. Your mother and I would like to start listening now. Okay?
So that's a technique that we can use with our teenagers, right? And for the children now, the younger ones, what's one technique that we can do? The hand on the wrist. Okay, so what you can do is to teach the hand on the wrist to our younger children. When you're in conversation, instead of barging in and saying excuse and so on, which can come across as rude if they don't do it well, you can say to them, just gently touch me, and I will know you are there. I will cup your hand to reassure you that I know you're there, I sense your presence, and I will be with you in a minute. Okay, so they feel validated, they feel their presence is acknowledged, and in a minute, I'll give you my full focus. Now, they were quite rude in the demonstration, and so we think that as parents, we're going to give them some punishment. So you will still be punished for your poor choice of behavior, okay? And then, if you ever feel unheard again, you can do the hand on the wrist technique, Bianca, or you can do the full support for Kaja, where we give you our undivided attention. Okay?
And then another technique for the teens is something we call the 2-minute rule. So I don't know how many of you have heard the saying, like on these reels, like we listen but we don't judge. Have you heard that? Okay, so that's similar to, the rule is similar to that, where you can say to your children or your adolescents, for the next 2 minutes, we as the parents are going to stop talking, we're going to put down the phone, and we're just going to listen to you uninterrupted for 2 minutes. We're not planning any rebuttal, or we're not offering a solution, we're just here to listen. And so as we can see, whether it's from the wife who's going through so much, she just needed me as the husband to listen. Similarly, the kids sometimes you just need to be heard. And so if you kill them with kindness by putting down all the devices and give them your undivided attention and set a time limit, let's say for the next 2 minutes, however you feel you're able to express that, I think that's something that children would want to appreciate as well.
Definitely. And if the 2 minutes expires and they're not finished, we set another 2 minutes, and it keeps going until they're heard. Don't just cut them off at the end of 2 minutes. So the message is, behavior is communication. Before asking, how can I stop this behavior, ask instead, what is this behavior telling me? And I'll give you a minute to reflect on that as we invite our host to join us for the transition.
Tonight we have seen families struggle in different ways, but recognizing struggle is only the beginning. Our goal is not to simply just recognize. Our goal is to restore. And the restoration as Christians, prayer is central to our lives and families. When we hurt, we pray. When we are afraid, we pray. And when we don't know what to do, we pray. But sometimes someone needs to do something else as well. They need to sit with them. They need us to listen. They need us to support them. And sometimes they may need professional help. Our next scene is Just Pray About It, focusing on grief, loss, loneliness, and isolation.
Yeah, I know it's been a few months now, and yeah, I'm just not over it, you know? Like, my mom was everything to me, and even when I come here and I'm around all these lovely people, I'm still feeling that pain. So yeah.
You're still on this topic? You're still on this topic? You're still talking about your mom? It's been months now.
Are you serious?
Really still a talk about this.
Okay.
As you can see from the scenario, Cheyenne is grieving the loss of his mother, who he was very close to, and she recently died. Now, the church member is listening to him expressing that grief, but she's saying to him that it's been months now that your mother died, so I don't understand why you're still talking about it, or why you're still quote-unquote sad. And so, I'd like to ask a question to the audience. If we've ever been in a situation like this, or I'm sure we know people that have been grieving, or we ourselves have grieved before, what should we never say to someone who is struggling? What are some phrases, what are some sentences, what are some statements that we should never say to someone who is struggling?
God will never give you more than you can bear.
That's a good one, yes.
The Lord giveth and the Lord taketh.
Yeah, that's an excellent
Move
one.
on.
Yeah. Get over it, yes. Okay, so adding to what you guys would have said, which was the Lord will never give you more than you can bear. We have get over it. Other people have it worse. You have nothing to be depressed about. Just think positively. You're too young to be stressed. You just need more faith and stop looking for attention. And we have one more from the audience. Okay, never mind for that. And sometimes we think with these phrases that we're being supportive, but there's harm that comes out of our mouth, and sometimes this can help to not alleviate the stress or the grief, but this can help to worsen it, because now the person feels guilty for grieving and guilty for sharing. So sometimes we go to these individuals hoping to help, but we end up doing way worse. So yeah, so as somebody from the audience said, say nothing if you don't have, there's a saying in Jamaica, we've all heard it, if you don't have anything good to say, then don't say anything at all. Okay, and another question I would like to ask, adding on to this, is what does loss look like? Oh, you can go ahead, Sister Winnie. Oh, the question is, what does loss look like? Loss. Sorry, my teeth. Is loss. What does loss look like? Emptiness. Okay, that's a good one. Anybody else? Sadness. Okay. Loneliness. Okay. Okay, so to help with the answering of this question, let me rephrase Sister Sophia's question. What are the different types of loss? Emotional, okay. Psychological, sure. Physical, sure. What about death of a loved one? That's a loss. Spiritual loss, losing the relationship with God, that's a big one.
I don't know how to classify it, but sometimes even for parents, especially the ones that I come across, some of them, they're grieving the loss as it relates to their child, because for some of them, they would have expected their child to be quote-unquote normal, but in reality, that's not the case, so they're grieving.
That's a good one.
There's also financial loss. Going back to like what men might be going through. Let's say you lose your job and you're the provider for the family, and now you're not able to provide in the same ways. So you might be embarrassed or overworking. So the loss goes, and shame, and feel shameful as well. Yeah.
And I would like to also add loss of youth. A lot of us are getting older with more back pain, belly pain, different type of pain and ache. And so that's also one as well. Somebody else wanted to share? Loss of memory, yes. Mm-hmm. That is true. And adding on to what Cheyenne had said, we have loss of independence. Maybe you lost a job, and now you have to rely on somebody who might be financially abusive. Or a lot of us have that tendency to not want to rely on anybody. So having to ask or to quote-unquote beg in itself is a loss. I know that's very hard for some of us. So just to explain that, grief does not follow a fixed timetable. It's not linear, meaning that it's not a step-by-step process from sadness to healing. You have to go through each stage. You don't just wake up and be like, I'm healed. So you might feel okay one day and deeply sad the next day. You might be going through the healing journey and be like, okay, 5 years have passed. And you just wake up sad. For example, you miss your mother, or you miss Jamaica, or you miss your job that you had because probably it pay more. Or in Tamilia's case, you expected probably your children to grow up in the church, and when they got older, they left. That's also a loss as well. Returning waves. Feeling of loss can show up strongly months or years later because of a date, a smell, or a random memory. So maybe you lost somebody and the anniversary is coming up. Or maybe they loved a particular food and you went out and that food is on the menu. Or maybe their favorite cologne is at home and you just remember how they used to smell. So those things can trigger the grieving process as well. And grief is a unique pace. Every person handles loss differently based on their life, their bond with who they lost, and their background as well. And lastly, lasting change. Grief, it does not mean that you are broken, so I want us to remember that. Grieving is not a sign of weakness. It does not mean that you're broken. It means that you have loved deeply and are learning to live with the change. And just want to end just by saying there's a very popular statement that says, it's better to have loved than lost than to never have loved at all. So let's just replay the scene that you guys just did. And I just want to highlight the teaching points that we've been discussing all night, which is notice, ask, listen, and support. Go ahead.
I notice you seem to be still grieving your mother's death. I notice you seem to still be grieving your mother's death.
Yeah, it's a lot to handle, to be honest.
Do you need me to support you in any way? I know it can be difficult.
Yeah, that would be nice. I would appreciate any help that I can get, to be honest.
I know it does. I'm going to wash the dishes in the sink, and then I'll sit with you while you drink your tea.
Okay. So notice the difference in this scenario from the first one. The first one, he expressed that his mother had died. She's like, oh, it's been months now, just get over that. But in this scenario, she noticed that months have passed and he's still sad, he's still grieving. And then she asked him, can I support you in any way? What do you need from me? Because sometimes we like to assume how a person wants support. But sometimes we can just ask because they have their own way of dealing with things. Yeah, that's how you give proper support, right? Not assuming, but asking. And then she was able to listen. So he shared that he needed support. And then she was like, okay, I'm here. Let me know what I can help with. And he told her, and she was able to give support. So while you're grieving and you're depressed and you're not able to wash up or clean up the house, I will help you to do that. So just reiterating the teaching points is notice, ask, listen, and support. And sometimes the most healing thing that we can give someone is it's not advice. It is just our presence. Sometimes you don't have to say anything to somebody. Sometimes you can just sit down and just hold their hands and let them know that you're there with them. So the key message that I'd like to leave you guys with as we wrap up this scene that it's titled Just Pray About It is faith should help us to move towards people in pain, not to silence their pain. So it should be used in conjunction with helping, not to silence it.
Amen. And I just want to thank you. Go ahead. Let me not stop you. She did very well. They have all done well. And I just want to say, ask a quick question as our host join us to transition. Is there anyone who has or is going through a grief currently or in the past, and persons came to visit you, they were a little bit uncertain as to what to say, and you were okay with them not saying anything? Were you okay with them not saying anything? Yeah? Okay. So I'm hearing yes. So if you go to visit someone in the hospital, they might be grieving the loss of their health. They're not dead. It's not that kind of loss. But you can just be there. You can sing with them, pray with them. You don't have to have the perfect word to say. Okay? So don't be afraid to visit those who are grieving.
And so, all right, so I'm saying that in an effort to say something, we try to empathize, and we end up grieving competitively with the person. So the person says something like, you know, the person lost their mother. You say, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. You know, I lost my mother, my auntie, my granny, So, you take the focus off the person who is currently grieving in an effort to help. It doesn't help.
What you're going through.
Yeah. Don't say you know what they're going through, because you really can't know in totality. You may have an idea, but you can't really know. And even if the person don't have 4 dead relatives, Sister Robinson, it's just one, still don't talk about it. Give them the space to free up themselves to speak unhindered, and you just listen. Yeah, and just give a little pat and so on. Dr. Lati, you were saying?
That's their way of grieving. They want to talk, and allow them to do that. It's not for you. And I think most times we think that we need to be giving an answer. We don't have to answer. They're the ones grieving. So I would say, if you feel pressured to want to say, let me do something to comfort them, just be there. You don't have to speak. Just be there. They know you are there. And I want us to...
Don't judge them if they grieve differently from you.
Yes, I agree with just be there. I have been to it was a watch night service, really, and testimony was being given. And this woman, she was there. I was a visitor to the church. Tell you that it was in, and so New Year's Eve watch night, and she talked, she breathed out the whole. was hurt. She hurt, she speaks, and everybody, you see. And I didn't know what to say, what to do. I just went up to her and can I give you a hug? And that was, she just melted down. So just a hug, it is very, very good.
Yes.
All right, please skip scene 5 and go to the final scene for me, please. Scene 6. Wrap it up.
So we just want to say thank you for your time. We recognize that it's far spent and we don't want to exhaust you. We want you to be able to enjoy the rest of the program. So at this time, I just need 2 or so persons to say what they have learned from this exposure to the 4-step strategy to help persons who are struggling. It is used it's like a first aid technique that you can use, mental health first aid. First responders use it. It can be used for persons who are suicidal as well, to get them to open up and speak about it. So it's very multimodal. It can be applied to different situations. So I hope that you will own it and really make use of it. Thank you so much on behalf of
Tamila Berry,
Bianca Walters,
Kaja Campbell,
Sean O'Connor.
Thank you for listening. Over to our hosts.
Thank you so much. Did you learn anything from this presentation? Yes. So tonight, we just don't want this to be a message that remains inside this building. We want you to take what you've learned and we want you to take it home. Ask your spouse, how are you really doing? Ask your child or children. Ask your parents. Ask the person who is always smiling, and those are the ones that I particularly like to check in on. The persons that seem that they can take on the entire world, and they're the strongest people amongst us, and they're always smiling. There is sometimes something on there, so call and say, how are you really doing? Because sometimes that person feels like they have to be strong for everybody else. Right? And then be prepared to truly listen if you ask and they're answering you. A healthy family isn't a family that never struggles. It is a family where people know they do not have to struggle alone. And one part that we missed is that, even we as church members, and we call ourselves all the time, we say we are, it's church family. But are we really family? As a church family, do we check in on each other? Do we call the person that is not there, right? If you are a family member, we listen, we ask, we don't judge, and we show love. So, reflect on it. What type of family member are you?
And as we leave tonight, remember that seeking help is not an absence of faith. We pray, we seek God's wisdom, we support one another, and when appropriate, seek and professional help. God has given us families so that we can walk together, not only through celebrations, but through difficult seasons as well.
So when someone in our family is struggling, we will notice, ask, listen, support.
Because healing happens when we stop hiding our struggles and begin healing together.
Amen.
and plenty here